Fortnite is full of dances and emotes now, and it's one of the most recognizable parts of the game. It's hard not to walk a block without seeing a kid imitating the sweet moves that he's seen in his favorite battle royale, and a quick web search yields tons of results about the best Fortnite dances. Epic Games' sensation has taken the world by storm, and while many people are familiar with the cool moves that the game offers, only recently have we started to see the legal ramifications of their inclusion. The first ever Fortnite dance was taken directly from Donald Faison's character Turk in the critically acclaimed medical comedy drama Scrubs. In the famous scene, the resident sad sap and musically inclined lawyer Ted asks Turk if he thinks dancing is easy. Turk wastes no time in jumping into action and performing one of the most memorable dances in television history to Belle Biv DeVoe's Poison. Let's take a look at a side-by-side comparison of the two dances. Looks pretty cool, right? Well, the problem here is that Donald Faison hasn't been compensated for his dance. He recently was asked if he would perform the dance, to which he told the crowd, "If you want to see it, you can play Fortnite, because they jacked that shit." The Turk dance is just the tip of the iceberg here, as other dance originators like 2milli have also voiced their concerns and even threatened a lawsuit against Epic for stealing their original dance moves. Is what Epic is doing illegal though? Well, let's take a look at the Copyright Act of 1976, which provides some guidance on what can and can't be copyrighted when we're talking about dances. The act gives exclusive rights to copyright owners, which include the right to make copies, either digitally or physically, of the work, the right to sell these copies to the general public, the right to use the work in a different capacity, derivative works, and the right to perform the work in public and collect money for the performance. These rights belong exclusively to the copyright holder, but can be sold to others to use the choreography. But it gets tricky to decide who actually owns the right to a dance because it depends on who was actually hired to create it. One example of the complications of choreography copyright comes from the Martha Graham case. Graham created a dance school that was responsible for over 50 different works that were shown on stage, but she never filed for a copyright on the dances, so she never received credit when they appeared in performances. The case went to trial in 2002, and the court ruled that 45 pieces were owned by the center and school. 5 belonged to those who had commissioned them, 1 belonged to the heir, 10 were in the public domain, and no one could prove ownership of 9 works. Basically, because she never took the legal steps to claim her work, Graham and her family never received any compensation for the dances that she created. While she should have been more proactive in copywriting her choreography, Graham likely never did so because copyright law gets really hazy. The composition and arrangement of dance movements and patterns are copyrightable as choreographic works, provided they meet a few different criteria. First, the dance must be your original work. It must originate with you and show some minimal level of creativity. Second, the dance must be fixed in a tangible object. This might include a film or video recording of the dance, or a precise written description in text or in a dance notation system. An idea for a dance is not entitled to copyright protection, nor is a dance that has been performed but not notated or recorded. A dance also does not have to tell a story or be presented before an audience to receive copyright protection. One potential pitfall for creators trying to copyright their dance is that individual moves can't be copyrighted, only entire sequences. So, for instance, the Macarena can be copyrighted, but one particular move from that dance, like crossing your arms and placing your hands near your hips, can't. So what does all of this mean for Fortnite? Well, it means they can steal rappers and actors' dance moves and put them in the game as long as they don't include the entire dance. The dance emotes in the game are a great opportunity to exploit that, as Epic can include enough of a dance to look cool, but avoid putting an entire dance or song in the game that would force them to pay the creators. Over these past few months, many of the animations in the game have been called out for their similarities to moves used by people like Snoop Dogg, Psy, and the famous Carlton dance from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, as well as Faison, of course. They basically had Faison's permission to include his moves in the game, but rapper 2milli is less acceptable of his moves being included. He recently announced that he is going to sue Epic for using his move the Milli Rock, what they call in the game, Swipe It. Because Epic is using it in the game and earning revenue from it. It actually costs $5 to buy it and equip it. When speaking with CBS, 2milli said, "They actually sell that particular move. It's for purchase." That's when I was really like, oh nah, this can't go on too long. 2milli is going to have some problems taking action against Epic because there's no concrete legal framework for dances, as we discussed earlier. He said, "I don't even want to bash them for all the millions, know what I'm saying? It's not really like that. I just feel like I have to protect what's mine." 2milli isn't alone in his desires to protect his art. Fellow rappers BlocBoy JB and Chance the Rapper have also griped about Fortnite using their likeness in the past few months. BlocBoy stated that, "Every time somebody does my dance, they give credit to Fortnite, but they ain't create nothing but the game, so basically they taking money and credit for my shit." So what Epic is doing is legal, it's just incredibly scummy. Scrubs executive producer Bill Lawrence has admitted that Epic did approach him for the legality of it, and that it was allowed because it's just a character dancing. But Donald Faison wasn't ready to accept that. He stated a few weeks ago, "I don't get no money. That's what y'all are thinking, right? Somebody got paid." No, I did not. Somebody stole that shit, and it's not mine anymore. What we are left with from these different creators and artists is a complicated question of legality and morality. No clear protection for dance moves exists through copyright law, so Epic is mostly free to do whatever they want. Unfortunately for faison, 2milli, BlocBoy JB, Chance the Rapper, Snoop Dogg Psy, and others, they are not going to receive compensation for the dances they created and popularized. What's sad is that many of those people are fans of the game and actually play it, but Epic is only concerned with marketing to their audience. In order to do that, they are taking advantage of copyright law to skate around paying people who helped popularize their emotes. In order to do that, they are taking advantage of copyright law to skate around paying the people who helped popularize the emotes in their game. Again, this isn't illegal, so there's no reason to discuss how they are getting away with it. However, I will take a clear stance that I disagree with what they are doing because it's shameful. Some people might frame the emotes as harmless homages that make the game cool, but I want you to consider this. What if you were the actor or artist that created those moves? Wouldn't you feel like they belong to you? Wouldn't you be offended if Epic stole from you? Hopefully 2milli's impending legal action will bring more light to the situation, and will serve as a step in the right direction to force Epic to compensate the artists they're stealing from. Well, what do you think? Are Fortnite dance emotes a blatant attempt to evade copyright and screw over artists? Or is it just harmless fun? Maybe think about it before you spend $5 on those dances. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to share it with everyone you know, and I'll see you guys on the next one.